Hi everyone, welcome back to DR Sports. Welcome to day 9 of our Wimbledon Roundup show. I'm here with Alex, AGT. How are you?
Good, mate, good. We've just witnessed an absolutely incredible 5-setter times 2. So we're looking forward to dissecting it all.
This has quite literally been, well, look, it's the quarterfinals. With every round, it becomes more and more intense, doesn't it? But, I mean, you called it yesterday. You said 2 5-setters on the men's side of the draw. We've just seen Jabeur win. 6-1, 6-1 in the final 2 sets, but she lost that first set to Bushkova. We will talk about that in a bit, but we'll stay on the men's side and start there where we saw 2 5-setters. When you said it, I sort of thought, I mean, that'd be a dream, wouldn't it? Imagine that. Oh my God, what a day we've had there.
Absolutely, and I said it, you're right, last night on the show, in the presence of Pippa, I said Goffin takes Norrie to 5 sets. I actually predicted Norrie to lose that one.
Yes, you did, yeah.
But to be fair to Goffin, he's taken him right down to the wire. Wins 2 sets, unbelievable performance from him. Pardon me. And I predicted also a 5-setter between Novak and Sinner. So I was right on both accounts. Yeah, and we were also right with on Jabeur, but not right when it came to the other game.
Maria knocked out Nima.
Yeah.
Guys, if anyone in the comment section, I always feel bad when I get the name wrong.
I think it's Mia.
Nima, okay. Look, we'll touch on Jabeur and Maria's wins in the second half of the show. Let's start with what we've seen. Who do you want to start with, Norrie or Djokovic?
I think it would only be right to start with Norrie. To start with. Wow, what a headline that is. Yeah. Cameron Norrie reaches the semi-final of Wimbledon for the first time.
And I've got to say, I thought Goffin would be a tough game. I don't know what I said yesterday. I think I might have said Norrie in 4 or something.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
You know, I thought...
Pims, by the way?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
we must. Well, it is Wimbledon.
Yeah,
I thought, oh, sorry, I'm struggling to get them out a little bit. There you go. Sure, I'll let you do the honours.
Go on.
I thought Goffin would give Norrie problems. I did. I foresaw that. I've seen enough of Goffin over the last sort of 7, 8 years at Wimbledon to know that every now and again he puts a run together and he can cause problems. I think in 2019 he might have taken a set off Roger Federer as well on Federer's run to the final that year. So he's a good player. But Cameron Norrie is so difficult, right? Because you've got the support of, you know, the Wimbledon crowd, right? You know, being a Brit, everyone's kind of supporting him. But at the same time, he's got that same... You're right there.
No, I'm just... Do you know what? I poured it out and there's no actual... You want fruit in it, right?
Sure, I'm good fruitless.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no problem. Thank you very, very much.
Nice.
But he's also got the centre court pressure and of course, he's got the pressure, he's got the crowd, he's got everything else to fight as well there, Norrie. You know, loses the first set and then the third set. It's not like... Listen, I'm not taking anything away from Djokovic, and we're going to definitely talk about, you know, what he achieved today. But when you're 2 sets down, but then you win the third, there's maybe that degree of momentum. I think with Norrie, having gone a set down, then wins the second, then loses the third, you're thinking, oh my, you know, I've put 3 sets of tennis in here, and I've still got 2 more to go. And you overcome all of that. And I've got to say, I thought he looked so aggressive and so brilliant. In those final key moments as well. Are you surprised by how far he's come?
I am. I have to admit, I don't think many people would tell you that they backed Cameron Norrie to get past maybe even the 3rd or 4th round. So the fact that he's in the semi-final is a massive overachievement. Maybe not for him because he's confident. You know, he's still the 9th best in the world. Mm-hmm. You know, it's no mean feat being the 9th best or top 10 in the world. So. He's got every right to believe in his performances because they've been great. You know, his baseline forehands have been brilliant. His serving's been great. He's come up with aces at a crucial time towards the end there. His drop shots have been good. He comes to the net if needed. And he's shown everyone a really, you know, dominant performance or journey so far to the semi-final. And I think, listen, you're playing Novak in the semis. It doesn't get any harder at all. Yeah.
As Sinner.
But if he can get through Novak, he's got to be the favourite.
Well, really, if he gets through, you think he's the favourite?
So.
You actually said this yesterday, I think, as well. So fair play,
I mean, listen, that's like saying if you beat Liverpool 5-0, you might be, that it's very unlikely that it will happen. In all fairness to Cameron, great form right now, but Will he have that same energy to play Novak? I'm not sure, but if he does, and this is what I'm saying, if he does, big if, then I'd have him as favourite.
I'm really, really excited for that
Novak,
game.
surely.
We've got we're going to preview that a little bit later properly because we've got to talk about it. But just a little bit more on that game with Goffin. The thing about Goffin is he's a very rounded player. He can rally with you. He's consistent. He's got a decent serve. He will pull out a few aces. He's not the biggest hitter. But he will work angles, he'll work you hard, he'll chase everything down. Yeah. On Norrie's side of things, I think what I like is his aggression. You know, you can see certain players, they really go to hit the ball. And I know that some people will sacrifice power for just consistency. Make sure I'm getting it in, make sure I'm in the rally, make sure I'm working them hard. He seems really aggressive on his left hand, on his left-handed forehand. The other thing I like about him, and I'm calling to the tennis experts in the comments section here. Is there something about Norrie's technique? And let me know if I'm just seeing things or actually there's some truth to what I'm saying here. Okay, I'm interested, right? When he hits the ball, there's real loft on it. Like real topspin, real loft. And it creates this really kind of, especially when he hits the back of the court, which he does quite regularly, it makes it very hard, especially when you're playing on grass, which is usually a softer surface. You're used to having to hit it quite a nice low height. There's kind of quite a good reach. I wonder whether he just gives opponents more problems because of the nature in which he hits the ball and the kind of spin he puts on it, the way he strikes it. Is this just me? Have you noticed this?
I thought you were going to say the way he strikes it from that baseline with that left hand is Nadal-esque. I thought. Well,
I think it's comparable.
It is. Just watching an injury here from a doubles game. Let's see this one.
Yeah, they're showing the highlights. Oh God, that looks bad.
Oh, I don't know what was injured first. It looks like his ankle there.
Oh, ankle goes, and then his wrist after. Oh no.
In the Mizuno.
We'll have a little look at some of the doubles results later as well. But you know what? Amongst all the tennis stuff and everything that's been going on, I've seen 2 comments already. People asking, it's Tony. Tony's asking, what actually is Pimm's? Well, Pimm's is a fruity,
summery, fruity beverage.
Liqueur, is that the word?
I think it is. Is it a liqueur?
Is that what we call
Pimm's?
it?
I think so.
With what else goes into it?
You mix it with lemonade.
Lemonade,
and
right.
Just bang it, loads of mint, loads of fruit
fantastic.
in there.
Anyway.
Cucumber, strawberries. I mean, you could have cut them up. Just fat, big old strawberries plonked at the bottom.
You are the absolute worst. So there you go. Go check it out. It's really lovely. We love it here during summertime.
Drink responsibly, though, of course.
But of course. Do you know what I mean though by Norrie? Like he does have that flat shot when he's running to the net. He will just wallop it. But if he is rallying with you, he kind of hits really lofty, horrible. My dad's a left-hander. And I used to hate playing tennis with him because even if he was playing terribly, every ball would just be like reaching up. But I'm exaggerating. My point is with Norrie, I wonder whether he's got that like natural loft on the ball, that really high topspin that just makes it awkward to rally with. He could cause Djokovic problems because he's such an aggressive player. But again, I'm skipping ahead. We'll preview that in a sec. But am I surprised he's got as far as he has? Not when I look at the run that he had. I'm not saying it's an easy run, but just let's have a little look at his run at Wimbledon. Cameron Norrie. Didn't he come through a 5-setter? Yeah. So first round, Andujar, 5 sets against Munar, having lost the second and third set, 3 sets, and then 5 sets again today. So he's gone through 2 5-setters.
Isner?
No, he didn't play Isner. That was Sinner. Who are you looking at?
Oh, Munar.
Sorry. Am I surprised? Look, I would expect him to beat those names. If you're not going purely on ranking, you're going on, kind of reputation, what you know on them, and again, he's had the centre court crowd. Do you think he looks urged on by it, where others maybe look nervous by the centre court crowd and maybe that home support, whatever?
He's dealt with it.
He looks definitely urged on by it.
Yeah, I think when you get into a centre court game of this magnitude that you haven't necessarily been in before, it can either go one or two ways. You either kind of, as everyone says in sports, bottle it, / let the occasion overcome you, / not be totally prepared, lose your head a bit, be a bit too aggressive, too impatient, or even with the onlooking eyes of your mum, your family and all that stuff, can you deal with the pressure can you keep a cool head? And he did that today, and that's a massive test for him, getting through that in terms of, being he lost 2 sets in this, it's a 5-setter. The crowd got him over the line there, I would say.
I can't believe we're already talking about the quarterfinals. I mean, this is absolutely flown by.
We're like, what, 66% through?
Yeah, day 9.
Day 9,
out of 14. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely flown by. Konar says, big win for Norrie. Enjoyed that game, only caught the last hour though. Leonard says Novak will sweep. Boris says, and Djokovic and Nadal final looks inevitable. What else have we got? Tony says, when does he face Djokovic? He will be facing him in the next round. We're going to talk about Djokovic in a second as well and what he achieved today. Shush says, Djokovic with goat emojis.
I think that's Friday.
What's that?
I think the semi is Friday.
It is on Friday.
Between Novak and Norrie.
Oh, sorry, when does he face Djokovic? I'm an idiot. I read that as... I'm so sorry, Tony. I read that as like, it was in what round? But you rightly said when, as in the actual day, which is the much more obvious question that they're asking.
Yeah.
So yes, on Friday. And what else have we got? We've got a Serbia flag with the best tennis player from Alexander Romanic. And Inf says, Norrie, you little beauty. Yeah, he did really, really well, Norrie. I don't know what more there is to say on him, really. I mean, we've kind of talked about him quite a lot over the last week and a half because we've been watching him. He's obviously had a lot of games on centre court, court 1 as well. And he's come through them, 5 games, 3 and 3 sets, 2 and 5. But I think you sometimes want those 5-setters just to show you can come through them,
Yeah, I think vary it up a bit. Show the crowd and the tennis fans that you're not just a straight sets guy. Ideally, everyone would just be a straight sets guy, wouldn't they? And you wouldn't have to even break sweat into a 4-4 or 5th set. But it shows the variety. It shows his durability in extremely pressured circumstances. And if you can. If you can go 5 sets on the way to the final, that must mean that you're nearing your peak within the competition. And I'd say even Novak probably will be looking at this one for Friday now, thinking, well, I don't want it to go to 5 sets, but he can take it there if he wants.
If you want to know how tight that game was between Goffin and Norrie, hear this, right? Service games won, 20 each. Service points won, 95 each. Now get this. Games won, 25 each. Points won, Goffin won 6 points more than Cameron Norrie.
That's wild, how tennis can throw that up as a stat. I mean, it's a bit like, somehow losing a last-minute own goal winner in football. I mean, how you can win more points and still lose the game? I mean, of course, when you look at that, without any knowledge or context of the game, you're not counting the... unforced errors, the double faults. So that all plays a part, but 151 points to 147 and you've lost with more aces, less double faults, more percentage on your first serve, winning points. That's a tough one to take. He's pretty much beat him on everything, James.
He's had more break points than him as well. He's had 10 break points to Cameron Norrie's 8, but he only converted 5 to Norrie's 5 as well. I mean, and that is what makes the scoring system in tennis so fascinating, because probably more, let me know any other sports that operate in this similar way, but tennis is basically saying, yeah, cool, you can win points, but there are certain points. There are certain, they all count for 1, but some of them, I'll give you an example, right? Goffin might have lost a few games on Norrie serve, kind of 40-30, 40-15, whatever. And he's been picking up points and then maybe winning his games, to love. But it doesn't matter because Norrie ultimately secured the game and they're level at 1-1. And I just think...
Triggers energy reserving in a way.
No.
Do you know what I mean by that? Now you've got a game on the board. Could you, for instance, take it a little bit easier, knowing that, well, I don't have to break my back and go juice advantage, kind of let him have this, and then I can control my destiny with the service in the next game.
I've been convinced for a while that there are certain players, I mean, I'm talking the really real best, who know not to give it their all. I used to watch Federer, especially from maybe 2014-15 up until he made his final in 2019. Where, because of the age he got to, and the fact he doesn't want to be on court too long and he doesn't want to, overexert himself, I was convinced he never tried particularly hard when it came to breaking until later in the set. Now, that might just be me kind of having a few memories, and it's a bit of a coincidence that he did that then. But I even remember when he played Andy Murray, I think, in a Wimbledon semi-final, not that long ago. I think it was the Murray one. And, you know, it was kind of going 1-1, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 3, you know, until it got to that 4-all, and then suddenly Federer breaks, and he goes and wins the set. And I do think there are certain players that just know, I don't need to be winning these because it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
In the end, whether I win this 7-6 or 6-love, I still only get one set to my name. So I definitely think certain players. We'll ask you guys in the comments. Do you think players?
Interesting to have asked Pippa that last night as well.
Yeah, when she's back, we'll definitely ask her. Boris says Norrie took full advantage of the open draw. Not sure he would have made it if he played Dimitrov in the third round. Yeah, very good point. But forget that Dimitrov had to pull out because of injury. Tennis Files is back. Thank you.
Hello, mate.
Says big up to Norrie. Goffin is an excellent player, but a few errors at critical moments. And that's the other thing. Errors at critical moments. That's the other thing that the score system tests you on. You know, let's take football for example. The critical moments are the last 10 minutes of a game. But if you're 3-0 up, it doesn't really matter so much if you concede the one. With tennis, the critical moments...
It's about that fifth point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you could be 30-30.
Yeah.
If you win that fifth point, 40-30, and that sixth point, I mean, it could be 106 points. But if you win the point that decides it first... I mean, I sound a bit like Micheal Owen there, but you know what I mean.
But I get what you're saying. Federer, I think, lost the 2019 final having won more points than Djokovic, I think. And I think that was the same for the 2008 final with Nadal as well. So, yeah, again, it's about the pressurised moments. It's why Novak Djokovic is such an unbelievable champion, because once again today, he lost the first two sets. He wasn't playing particularly well, but he won the points he then had to win, which was basically all of them from that point. Yeah. You get what I'm saying. Let's talk about Novak Djokovic today, as I just get the details on the exact score up. We were watching this in the office. He lost the first two sets. Here we go. 5-7, 2-6, 6-3, 6-2, 6-2. Before we talk about Djokovic and the inevitable, you know, lavishing of praise we're going to give, which he thoroughly deserves, a word on Jannik Sinner from you.
Winner. Sinner the winner. Well, not technically the winner of this game, but I think he can hold his head high coming out of this tournament. And he will be a winner. Sinner will be a winner. There's no doubt about it. He's 20 years old.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, him and Berrettini, it's the future of tennis is looking good for Italy.
Well, yeah. It really is.
And for him to be 20 years of age, taking Novak to 5 sets, good things can only happen to him from here.
Let's just reel off the list of names that Jannik Sinner has faced at this year's championships. Stan Wawrinka, Micheal Immer, John Isner, Carlos Alcaraz, and Novak Djokovic. That's a pretty unbelievable run that he's gone through.
Who knows, if he was on Norrie's side of the draw...
he'd be in the semi-final. Yeah, he would be. Jannik Sinner, of all the young players and let's say the kind of new challengers to the old guard, Jannik Sinner's been the one I've been easily the most impressed by all tournament. I think he's got such a rounded game. I thought his serve... hit and miss at times, but you could see there's a very good serve there, and he's 20 years old. He's only going to hone his skill and get even better. I thought, he can rally from the baseline. He can hit those angles. He can hit drop shots. He gets around the court. There was one shot, and at this point, it was looking like the set was getting away from him. And I think actually it might have even been set point. But Djokovic hit a lovely sort of low shot. I think it was a drop shot, but Sinner comes charging over and just flicks the wrist and wins the point. And he's just got a few of those moments of magic in him. And where I'll give him a lot of credit here is, it's not the nicest thing, but let me land.
Go on.
He actually started the game horribly. Yeah. Like, there's nerves, right? But then there's, the way he was playing. I mean, I sat there thinking, oh no, he's either really tired or he's absolutely crumbling under the pressure. But it's the first few serves, it's the first few games. It doesn't help that Djokovic was serving first, which means naturally Djokovic holds, then he breaks, then he holds, you're 3-love down, and it looks like you're kind of miles behind already when really it's only one break of serve. And I think for Sinner to just regroup the way he did, gain composure, and just start playing his game to the point where not only did he break back and take to a tie break. No, he then breaks again, wins that set comfortably. I mean, I think credit to him.
Yeah, to build from literally nothing to almost winning the game. Well, I know he didn't almost win the game, but to take him to 5 sets after being so far behind, as you say, from a nervous start, unbelievable. And this is, again, reinforces my point that I don't think there can be, this can't be seen as a negative. His camp will go away thinking, well, you got to a quarter-final of Wimbledon, look at all the people that didn't get to a quarter-final of Wimbledon, and you were there. And like I said, he can only build on this, and who knows, in 10 years we might be talking about, he might have had 2 or 3 Wimbledons.
I don't know if in the next 10, 15 years of his career, if he's going to have a harder run at Wimbledon.
I don't think he will.
Wawrinka, Immer, Isner, Alcaraz.
Because most of those guys will be retired by the time.
Well, that's true. Wimbledon. Yeah, probably won't be that run again. But I just think I've got to give huge credit to him for what he's done, and then to go 2 sets to love up against Novak Djokovic. You think he'll be a slam winner one day, Sinner?
For sure.
Yeah, I think
Sinner the winner, as I said.
Yeah, I think he will be. And I keep saying, in a couple of years, you might not have Nadal, Djokovic and Federer, but I remember saying that in 2015, and then 4 years later, Djokovic, Federer and a Wimbledon.
Who would you say is on the Mount Rushmore of the tennis world?
What do you mean by that? So
the Mount Rushmore?
Yeah.
Is it 4 or 5 people on there?
Sure, actually.
If there was 5 heads on there from tennis, who would they be on that mountain?
What a question. Roger Federer.
Yep, undoubted.
Serena Williams.
Yeah.
Rod Laver.
I mean,
I just feel like you've got to have Djokovic and Nadal, don't you? I mean,
well, you've got to have like Sampras or McEnroe and Bjorn Borg and.
Yeah, but over the other 2. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. Let us know in the comments.
I mean, what a question.
It's a good question.
What a question. All right, we'll let you guys
on
in
the
the comments.
Rushmore of tennis?
Yeah, what a question.
Big up to Zara Raffs, who says, Micheal Owen, you got to serve to win a point. That would be. Yeah, man, if you don't get your first serve, then, well, it's a fault, and if you miss that one, it's a double fault. So if you don't get your serves, and you can't win the game because you haven't won the points to go 15-30 love. So what you do is you lose the game, and then you turn to a life of gambling, unfortunately.
I'm glad he's sticking to.
Yeah, man, it's great, really.
I'm glad he's sticking to football.
I can't imagine him being an umpire.
No. Tennis File says he'd have Borg, Laver, Federer, Djokovic, Williams, Nadal. Probably forgetting a bunch. Yeah, I mean, Billie Jean King. You only got to look at just the names who came out on centre court the other day during the ceremony. Yeah. Tennis Files also says that Djokovic is probably the most clutch player of all time. So many comebacks. Credited today's win to a good self-talk in the bathroom break. Yeah, there you go. Okay, let's talk about this guy because we've delayed it long enough. And the reason I don't always go straight. The reason I'm flying straight into the whole, Djokovic chat is because I do sometimes watch, when he's live, and the coverage, whether it be on the radio, TV, wherever it is always the same. Isn't he amazing? Aren't we so lucky? One of the greatest returners of all time. And they kept saying, actually,
as usual, as we said.
Right, and they actually said, how is Sinner possibly going to, where are the weaknesses? And it's like, well, there's no weaknesses. I'm like, okay, he went 2 sets down. So I think sometimes with Djokovic, if you get on top of him, you can fluster him. I do think you can get him at a point, especially when the centre court crowd is desperate for Sinner to, make a real game of it. And then he flies 2 sets ahead. But I'll be honest, when he went 2 sets to love up, Sinner, I wasn't sitting there going, there's an upset. I mean, you're thinking there could be. But I just had all the confidence the world Djokovic should turn it around because it's what he does. Because we've seen him in so many moments pull back and, from the absolute depths, find a win. And again, like we said about tennis score system, you haven't got the win till you actually get it over the line. You've got to get there. You've got to earn it. It's not given to you. And I mean, what more to say about this guy? Were you surprised he turned it around?
No, because we've just seen it so many times to be 2-0 down and win the last 3 sets, 6-3, 6-2, 6-2. And then, the win percentage on his first serve, 82%. That's one of the highest I've seen in this Wimbledon.
On that, they were saying in commentary that he's apparently slightly changed his serve a little bit. And he doesn't serve as many aces as he used to, but he's got better consistency, and at least the ball comes back to him in a favourable way.
Yeah, aces 8 each.
Yeah.
Sinner with a few more double faults, but in terms of break points, Novak tops him there, and max games win in a row 5, max points 1 in a row 9 to Sinner's 8. Service games 119, and again he's probably winning more service games now that he has slightly changed his serve. It's a bit like when Tiger Woods slightly changes his swing, isn't it? It's quite interesting. I like to see that these guys, even at the peak of their game, getting older, are still looking to learn and maybe introduce new ways of keeping a bit younger if they can shave off a couple of bits here and there. Not like physically.
Leonard says Novak believes there are clutch moments in the game. He just turns the screw down and the rest.
That's it.
Klotayoshi, thank you very much for a lovely comment about me. Ashley says Djokovic's mentality is second to none. He works like clockwork. Luke then says I'm currently watching a mixed doubles match, and Kadar Nouni, the GOAT of tennis umpires, his voice is so distinctive. Wish he was a football ref. He would be great. Tesfile says last US Open, Djokovic dropped the first set 4 matches in a row and won them all, then lost to Medvedev in the final. Zaraf says, as an Aussie, I hope Nick Kyrgios can make the semis. Yeah, we'll look ahead to those other quarterfinals coming tomorrow. There was another question. Diogo says, Sinner, Zverev and Alcaraz will be winning all the slams in about 4 years. Luke also says that Taylor Fritz versus Nadal is such an interesting match, in my opinion. Looking forward to it. On Djokovic again, so he comes through in 5 sets. And I think he needed that. You know how we said Kyrgios almost sometimes looks better when he's playing on the edge? I don't think Djokovic is the same, in any way. But I think he plays better when he's on the edge in terms of actually there's jeopardy. You could lose. You could get knocked out here.
I agree.
And he just gets this focus,
Laser
focus. That's it.
It's almost like he. I mean, listen, he does still win
wounded
games
animal
with
type.
Straight sets, but wounded animal, 2 sets down, you've got to win. You've got to come back. You have to. And there's some teams and some players in many different sports that play at their best when they have to come back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very easy to be 2-0 up, 3-0 up, and maybe lose concentration. All of a sudden, it's 3-3. But if you have to keep winning via coming back, it's almost like you need that wake-up call, for you to enable, right, okay, laser mode, and then you just obliterate everyone. But yeah, some players have to go behind to win.
He's absolutely one of the best at turning the screw and swinging momentum. I mean, just look at this, right? So he played Kwon in the first round. He wasn't great in that first set, but he won it. He then loses a second set, and then boom, 6-3, 6-4, job done. No stress here. Then he plays Van Rijthoven in the round of 16 in the 4th round. Wins the first set pretty comfortably, 6-2. Then he loses the second 6-4, and Van Rijthoven's playing some fantastic tennis, and then 6-1, 6-2, place booked in the next round. It's almost like, he gets that wake-up call, and it awakens something in him. Fair play to him. What an unbelievable champion. I've got to ask, though, the Wimbledon crowd today, the centre court crowd, from what I heard, more in favour of Sinner, but do you think that was it could be one of 3 things: love for Sinner, anti-Djokovic, or just wanting to see a really good game?
Oh, good question. I actually recognised that in the last game he played against. Who did he play in the last
Van
one?
Rijthoven.
Yeah, and to be honest, whenever he won a point, they cheered. Whenever Djokovic won a point, they didn't really. I mean, is there politics involved behind it? Is there? I mean, not that I would, but are there some people that maybe feel a certain way? You know which type of person I mean, the Wimbledon folk. Do they feel a certain way about him and his antics or lack of antics in the Australian Open, not being allowed to go there?
But this goes back to, when he played...
I hope it isn't that, though.
I don't think it is that at all.
They still listen. In his press conferences after, he does say, the crowd got me through it today, your support's been amazing. So.
Look, I think the centre court crowd like him a lot. I don't know if they love him in the way they love Roger Federer. Now, I think today the crowd was more loud, let's say, for Sinner, because I think they're thinking it's a beautiful day on a Tuesday afternoon in London. give me a great game.
Yeah.
And I think they
The
knew that
underdog.
for that to happen, the underdog, for that to happen, they would have needed Sinner to play his absolute best and Djokovic to have a wobble. And listen, they got that. I mean, what a performance. But the reason I ask all this is I just wonder whether with Djokovic, does it bother him? I mean, he's spoken before.
I don't think it does.
I remember him getting Tennis Files and Luke and all you regulars in the comments. Let me know. He got emotional, didn't he? During the Medvedev game when he lost the US Open final. And I have a feeling that it was something to do with just the overwhelming support he was receiving. He wasn't playing well. I think he lost in straight sets in that final. Medvedev was unbelievable, completely obliterated him in that game. But he seemed to get really, really emotional. He had tears actually during the match towards the end. And I think it was for the support he'd received. And I think it matters to him. And I think today the Wimbledon crowd really just wanted to see a good game because I do think they love, if not love, Novak Djokovic. Maybe not in the way an Andy Murray or a Roger Federer is loved, but I think that the amount of respect he's earned, from that Wimbledon crowd, and I just wonder whether it ever gets to him. That sort of like, guys, count, for me as well.
It's interesting because. Now you say it, it is a thing. Tennis Files here says Djokovic is the most disliked of the big three for sure, plus the COVID situation and certain antics, as you mentioned. You'd have to ask the fans there what they'd think. It'd be interesting to see maybe a vox pop of all those fans coming out today, who they were actually supporting for that game.
I don't think today was about disliking, if you want to use that word. I think, but I do think that generally that is a tone that exists for sure. I think if he were to play Rafa in the final, I think the support would be more towards Rafa.
I agree.
Which is interesting because it's not like he's got phenomenal Wimbledon pedigree. I know he had that unbelievable match where he won it against Federer and beat Berdych a couple of years later. But Djokovic has much more Wimbledon pedigree. He's won the thing 6 times.
Don't forget, if Djokovic, we know that Cameron Norrie plays Djokovic now in the semis.
Right.
So the fans are definitely not going to be on Djokovic's side there either.
So let's preview that now because we talked about those 2 quarters. It's set up so wonderfully, and you're right, the centre court crowd is going to be all Norrie. So does that even do Norrie any favours? Does it only light a fire under Djokovic more?
Maybe, it could work against him. Djokovic, that won't be a problem for him. He's experienced that atmosphere so many times where he might have been playing a favourite or
it won't be a problem for him, but I do think it matters to him. Like I said, referencing that US Open final, I do think it matters to him.
Well, listen, as much criticism as he got, whether that's right or wrong, in equal measures, he also receives a lot of support as well. So he was probably overwhelmed at that.
Well, listen to this from Luke. He says, when the legends came out last Sunday on centre court, there was a much bigger cheer for Federer and Roger got a massive round of applause, and the Wimbledon crowd love him far more than Novak. Nadal is loved too. That's very true. I mean, don't forget also we hadn't seen Federer. We haven't seen Federer this year. So I think him coming out, and being on centre court this year was, I think it was partly. I think the crowd response was partly due to the fact that we're seeing him actually during these 2 weeks on the court in some capacity, which I think meant a lot to a lot of people.
But ask yourself this, James. I mean, if you're Novak, how many titles has he got now? 6 or 7?
6.
So if you're sitting there with 6 Wimbledon titles, how many do you think Nadal's got?
He's got 2 Wimbledon titles.
So who would you rather be?
Well,
the loved or the most successful?
Well, but then Nadal's got more slams overall, isn't he?
There you go.
So it's
If we're talking about Wimbledon,
obviously
Federer's there as well.
Then I'd rather have Djokovic's pedigree at Wimbledon for sure. And think of the finals he's lost.
What did you make yesterday of, just on a quick side note, of a journalist asking Kyrgios why he wore the red Jordan trainers on court after the game was finished?
I'm so glad you asked this question.
Thank you.
What? I was about to say, what do you think, which is the cheap way out. Okay, fine. Here's my thoughts on it. Firstly, Nick Kyrgios isn't above the rules. And if there are rules, however traditional or brilliant or stupid or whatever they are, whatever you feel about the rules, if there are rules and everyone's adhering to them and it's no great hardship for him to abide by those rules, then I'd do it. However, he was phenomenal that day, Kyrgios. He was phenomenal against Tsitsipas. He showed some unbelievable moments, some phenomenal moments in his last round game, but he wasn't at his very, very best. But the point is, he's booked himself the place in a quarter-final, played some tremendous tennis. There was no controversy, you know, during that match. And I just think, for me, it feels like you're looking for something when you ask that kind of question. You're trying to dig something out. So while I don't think Djokovic is above the rule, Kyrgios is above the rules in any way, I sort of respect that he basically said, I'm not going to get dragged into this. You're looking for a headline, you're not going to get it. Although the video kind of went viral, and you know, and I don't think he
keep doing you then, champion. That's what he said back to him. Wasn't it?
He's trying to be a bit, you know.
Yeah, I mean, look, listen, he obviously likes his Jordans and his Nike bits and bobs. He's obviously working with Nike. I think it's okay. I mean, yes, there's traditions, there's rules. There are. I don't doubt that. But I think after the game, should they be so enforced when you've just won a game like that? Do you just want to put on some... I'm not sure. Let us know in the comments. Was he right or wrong to one, kind of break the rules, but two, to then kind of fight his corner and say, well, don't drag me into this, when if he actually has broken the rules. So
I just think there's a time and place for certain reporters to ask certain questions and just understand that that wasn't the story that day.
It was definitely a loaded question though, wasn't it?
Yeah, of course, it absolutely was. Dude Boy says, opinion, if Djokovic surpasses Federer and Nadal in all-time wins, most people won't think he's the GOAT. Is that because he's unpopular or because his tennis is dull? Yeah. Look, I'll be honest, I don't find Djokovic the most exciting to watch. You know, that's just me, that's just my personal opinion. I do when he's in a really tight game, then I'm thinking, you know, this guy, because you kind of never write him off. That's when I think he's at his absolute most entertaining, like he was today against Sinner. I do just prefer watching Federer and Nadal personally, but I also think it's about, you know, when you're judging someone, you know, for being the greatest of all time, it's not just about titles and numbers and stats. It's kind of how they make you feel, like how they look playing the game, and you know, are they daring? Are they exciting? Are they entertaining? And you know, sport is also about entertaining, in my opinion.
Of course
I'm an Arsenal fan. I'd always want Arsenal to play good football, not just win. Yeah, I know. That's a shock, spoiler there. So yeah, Leonard described Novak Djokovic as the past Mourinho of tennis. I think that's quite a good.
007 Obama says Djokovic is the Chelsea of Wimbledon. He doesn't care what people think of him, but he gets the job done.
Yeah. I still think he's going to win Wimbledon. I still think he's going to win the whole thing, Djokovic. And what a test he came through today.
It'll be 7 if he wins that.
Yeah, it will be. Cameron Norrie awaits him in the in the semi-final. I think that is just set up so amazing. I can't believe we have to wait 3 days for it, but I think it's going to be. I think it's just going to be amazing. I'm so excited. I mean, where's that game won and lost? And actually, the more tricky question is, what does Norrie have to do to beat Djokovic?
He has to have one of the best performances he's ever done on a tennis court, and he has to hope that Djokovic has an off day. If we're being honest, I think that's the only way to do it. The endurance thing, yeah, you went 5 sets today, but so did Novak. The service, Novak's serves percentage-wise was around 81% today, is for winning the first serves. So there's no blueprint of how to beat Novak. You have to just out-tennis him, basically.
Yeah, for me, I want to see Cameron Norrie be super aggressive from the start, hitting big serves, you know, first serve percentage right up there. The thing
is though, it's not necessarily the start with Novak. I don't think that's the problem for most of the people that he plays. It's how you end with him.
Yeah, that's true.
The start's like give or take.
But I think if you do start well, I think you can rattle him. I think you can unsettle him. And look, today, as was mentioned by Tennis Files, he took a bathroom break, he chilled out, he went out, pep talk, and out he went. But I'm saying if Cameron Norrie can make a really flying start, because I do get what you mean. Ultimately, as we said, you're not over the line until you're over the line. But if he can make that real flying start, put him under immense pressure, be hitting big, deep hard, bouncy forehands, you know, to the back of the court, make it uncomfortable for Novak, make him have to reach a lot, make him have to run, and be brave, you know, go for those big shots. And if you miss, you miss. But you know what? You'll get one and you'll find your rhythm and you'll start going and you might set him back. And I think that's what happened with Sinner today. I think after a really bad start, once he started to find his range, that's it, he was playing. And actually, Djokovic didn't really have an answer for it for a good set and a half of tennis. So, yeah, I think it'll be really interesting. There was some comments coming in. Luke says, Cam has to serve far better than he did today. Was pretty poor on serve this morning. What else have we got? Dude Boy says, Sinner versus Alcaraz equals Federer versus Nadal, respectively, in the future, perhaps. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's if Sinner and Alcaraz have even half the career those two had, they'll be, you know, they'll be some of the best to have ever played it. So, yeah, Leonard then says, Novak is used to the crowd against me kind of thing. He's the only player to play that. Luke then says, Cameron Norrie has got to move Novak all around the court. Variety will be key, getting the crowd right involved. Don't let Novak make the crowd go quiet. I think that's absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. Now, we do have predictions for the quarterfinals. The Fritz Nadal game. Nadal, 82% of people are voting for him to make it through. So, yeah, I think he will too. But a lot of people mentioning that it could be a really, really exciting game. So, let's talk now about the women's results. Let's get them up here. So we have Bushkova out in 3 sets to Ons Jabeur. Listen, we had the Wimbledon favourites really worked hard today. Ons Jabeur going through 3-6, 6-1, 6-1. And then Maria knocking out Nima 4-6, 6-2, 7-5. Someone in the comment section, I think it was Luke, actually called Maria to win it. Fair play. But Bushkova working Jabeur a little bit harder than I'd have expected. I managed to watch a little bit of that. I wasn't able to watch the other one at all as much. Bushkova, of course, knocked out Garcia, who knocked out Raducanu. And she also knocked out the 7th seed and the 28th seed. And, yeah, gave Jabeur a good game. She's only 23 years old. You know, gave Jabeur a good first set, but then sort of whittled away in that second and third. Are you changing your mind at all about whether Jabeur's going to win this or not?
No, I still back her to win it. We all backed
despite
her
a fragile first set.
Yeah, but the second and third sets are pretty convincing, weren't they? 6-1, 6-1. It wasn't. I know, especially in women's tennis, if you lose that first set, you haven't got much time to rectify it. But as you can see, the momentum clearly just went with her after the second set, and the third set was a bit of a formality. Won a lot more points, won a lot more games. Max games in a row, won 8 compared to 3 for Bushkova. So service games as well, she was all over her, double in fact. And it's no surprise to see her in the final, the number 3 seed. But I mean, she was made to sweat a little bit.
Well, Luke says Ons Jabeur wasn't great in the first set, but magnificent in the third set. In particular, ended the match really impressively. Leonard then adds that the crowd emptied the court after the men's. I mean, it's such a shame,
How would you
isn't
feel
it?
if you were playing and that happened? It's quite a deep question.
I think a part of me, because that game went on till what, 5 o'clock, Djokovic Sinner? Started at 1:30, I think. A little part of me would acknowledge that, okay, people have got kids to get back to. And listen, a lot of games have been, you know, Andy Murray was on centre court, you know, playing the other day into the late hours, and there were empty seats because people have got families to get home to and things to do. So on the one hand, there's that. On the other hand, you know, Sinner, Djokovic went to 5 sets. You're probably glued to it. I mean, we've got the highlights here on the TV. You're probably absolutely gripped by it. And there's a little part of you that goes, you know what, I'm going to go get some food, I'm going to go relax. But yeah, I mean, you know, Bushkova, I'm no expert on her, so I mean, no disrespect when I say any of this, but I'm not sure, you know, being an unseeded player going to this championships, maybe people thought Jabeur would kind of go through this quite comfortably, whereas Sinner, I think, had really done a lot in the earlier rounds to prove that he can maybe, this was Sinner's fault, it didn't look painful, didn't it? To me, yeah, Sinner maybe shown that he could really do something against Djokovic, and then ultimately did. So it's difficult. I mean, listen, if I had centre court tickets, I wouldn't be leaving all day. I'd be packing the popcorn. And
it's
I'd
good
be
to see that Djokovic
glued.
came over to him then, wasn't it, when he went down?
Yeah. Yeah, he looked okay, Yannick Sinner, even though despite a horrible fall. I think he'll be disappointed with some of those scorelines in that second set, though.
Yeah.
Sinner. Sorry, and that third and fourth set. But yeah, Luke says, love the interview from Ons afterwards. Always plays with a smile on her face. You don't get that with all players. Yeah, very, very true. Leonard saying that one of the points in Novak Djokovic's fifth set wasn't boring. Yeah, no, listen, because he's so athletic and he gets to everything, you know, the rallies aren't necessarily going to be boring. I just think when he's winning and it's a bit of a formality, I think it's, yeah.
Look how much Novak gets around, though, man.
Oh,
Novak
that's Sinner shot.
is an absolute AAA battery, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Norrie Djokovic, predictions.
Oh, well. Listen, we all want Norrie to win, but Djokovic has been... It's a bit like playing Real Madrid. We all want Real Madrid to lose, but they just don't know how to in a semi/final situation. Okay. I want Norrie to win, I do, but Novak will win that 3-1 in sets.
I want to be different then, and I don't think it's going to be 3-love. So I think Norrie will nick 2 sets off him. I'm going for 3-2. He'll do it in 5. But
there you go.
But it wouldn't surprise me if he just wiped the floor with Norrie. Norrie, I think, has done so well to get here. You know, really exerted himself. I think both physically and mentally. You think of and probably emotionally. You think of, you know, the Wimbledon crowd and the pressure as we mentioned. But maybe they've just got enough fuel in the tank for him. Maybe he's just got that little bit more. So we'll see.
Who knows?
Yeah. Right. Maria beat Nima 4-6, 6-2, 7-5. Not going to pretend I watched. I wasn't able to. I was working / also watching Novak Djokovic. But it was a result that Pippa called as well and said that, you know, Tatiana Maria has, you know, she's got kids. She's 34. She's got another life, and here she is booking her place in a Wimbledon semi-final. It's amazing to see 2 unseeded players as well making it to the semi-final of the women's game. Obviously, Maria will be playing. Make it to the quarterfinals. Maria will be playing Anjou in the semi-final. We'll preview that more tomorrow. But I mean, it's really opened up on that side of the draw. And if I'm correct, let me just have a look at the right day. So today's Tuesday. Yeah, so you've got Halep versus Anisimova tomorrow, and Tomljanovic against Rybakina. So
some massive games.
I'm really excited to see
We're
what
getting
Halep
into the
does
business
against
end,
Anisimova.
aren't we?
Yeah, we
of
absolutely
the
are.
tournament now. Feels like a while since we started this. But this is where I think as well peak audiences will start tuning in maybe as we approach the business end of proceedings, and then it all comes to a close on Sunday. Yeah,
very true. Let me ask you something before we do our second round of the A to Z of tennis. Nick Kyrgios on court 1 tomorrow.
Sure.
What Kyrgios are we going to get?
Wow, it's a great question, James.
Because let me just remind you of what we have got so far, okay? Because I've kept a good eye on all of his games. Jubb, some usual antics, not too many. Comes through in 5 sets, nerves of steel.
Yeah.
Krajinovic, fantastic performance, walked it. Tsitsipas, as much as it was about his quality with the racket, it was also his quality with his complaining and moaning and vocals and all that.
Yeah.
Nakashima, unbelievably professional job despite it going to 5 sets, and, you know, held his all. What are we going to get against Garin on court 1?
I think what we see in this game will define part of his Wimbledon legacy for the rest of his career.
Okay.
If he goes out tomorrow and goes down in a kind of fit of protest, and he's having a go at the ref, the linesman, the crowd, the opponent, whoever it might be, if that's the type we see, I think a lot of it becomes an anticlimax. However, if he goes into that semi-final now, then again, you have to give him a very good chance to win the whole thing. But I think this tomorrow is the biggest game of his career in the last 10 years, I would say. Massive. It can go one way or the other. I really do think it's that big.
I really hope he gets it done. Listen, fair play to Garin, who came through in 5 sets the other day, yesterday actually. But I'm really interested to see what Kyrgios we get. He's on court 1. I remember we had that discussion with Pippa as well about whether court 1 is a bit more fun, let's say, a bit more lively, a bit more what's the word? A bit more chaotic, let's say, in the centre court, perhaps as a crowd, and yeah, maybe that will suit him. So we'll see what we get. Right, on to the A to Z of tennis. Actually, let's just have a quick look. Apologies. So a quick look. I was about to say have a little look at the quarterfinals on the women's side that we're getting tomorrow, but we did mention them. We mentioned Halep, Anisimova, and Tomljanovic and Rybakina. So let's go into the A to Z of tennis, and this is where I get my alphabet up because I always forget. I know the song, but I don't want to have to keep singing the song every time I try to remember where I got to. Right, got it here. Who wants to kick this off? I kicked off the last, so maybe you do.
Okay. I will go with Andy Murray.
Good work. I'm going for Ball Boy.
Good. C, I'm going for...
Get involved in the comments. Let us know.
C. Wow, okay. Wow, why has my mind gone blank? C. Have you got one for C?
No, court. But I think we said it the other day.
Yeah, we definitely can't reuse them.
We can't
That's
reuse
why
them.
it might be a bit harder today because we're trying to
it
work
should
out
be
what we
harder,
haven't said
really,
already. C, I'm going to go with Clay. Thank
A, good work, good work. D, I'm going for
Just talking about him.
Djokovic.
There you go. E, I'm going to go with... Ooh. E. I'm not going to look at the comments. And I'm going to go with... James. Struggling. E.
Evans.
You got one?
Dan Evans.
Go on then. We'll go with Dan Evans.
F.
Not Eddie Howe.
No. F, I'm going for fifth set.
Okay. G, I'll go with ground stroke.
Nice, nice, and very good. H, we said hard court last time.
Yep.
I'm going to go for Halep.
Nice. What's after the I? I'm going to go with Iga.
Oh, nice. Iga Swiatek, very good.
Swiatek.
J, Yannick Sinner.
Nice. K, Kyrgios.
Good work. L, I've got one. I think I could come with another one, but I want to say Laura Robson.
Mm-hmm. Decent.
M.
M. M. Wow.
Yeah, M's hard. M is hard.
Last time we said Murray Mount, I think. And I've already said Andy Murray, so I can't say that.
Why don't you go with M? Go with. Ooh, anyone for M? Tenafar says Mitchell Russell.
Michael Russell, Middleton. Yeah, I suppose so, but looking for a better one.
But I mean, I now I really feel like I need to get one. Match point.
Yes, bro.
I'm
Get
happy
in.
with that. I'm happy with that.
Gosh.
M. Let's go with I don't want to just do names. I want to think of something. N for
Norrie?
Yeah, Norrie.
Let's go Norrie.
Yeah, go Norrie.
On today. O?
O.
O.
Did we say out last time or not?
Yeah, I said out, I think. O. Wow, okay.
Overarm serve? No one really
I
says
can't
it.
give you that one.
What about,
think of a brand. Any brands? Oh.
No, we've got the production.
Oranges in the Pims. Can we go for that?
It's loose. It's loose. You know, then like I said, I ate
Ons Jabeur.
Of course.
Wow.
Good work. P. Pete Sampras.
Yeah. Pete. Big up Pete. Q.
Good luck.
What did we say last time?
I think that's something like Qatar Open.
Quebec Open. The Quebec Open. Let's have a look.
Or qualifiers.
Qualifiers. Let's see if the Quebec Open is a real thing. And yeah, that's the PGA.
What about? We've had Roger. Yeah, we've had Roger. What about? Ribakina.
Nice.
Is the next round.
There is a Tournoi de Quebec.
Oh, there you go.
On the WTA tour.
Nice.
Raducanu, yeah, nice. S.
Yeah.
Sinner.
Yeah, nice.
T.
Although, did we have? I said J for Yannick Sinner. So
okay.
I want to push you. I want to push you on that.
Singles.
Nice, good work.
Thank you.
T. I think we said topspin last time. So T. Let's do.
Trainers.
Yeah, trainers. Yeah.
You got, yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah. You.
You umpire.
Yeah. Did we say that last time or not?
I don't know if we did. You know.
Maybe we didn't. Maybe we didn't. V. Volley.
Shot.
Boom.
Good shot.
W.
Winning point. Oh no, it's kind of match point that is, isn't it?
Yeah. Wimbledon.
Yeah, but too obvious.
Bit too obvious.
Wawrinka.
Wawrinka, very good.
Yeah.
X. X. I don't know a single player or word that starts with
I think
X.
we just have to pass X, Y, and Z. Unless
We don't have a Y?
We said Z last time was Zhang.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Y. Yonex.
Yeah, we also
said
had.
Yonex last time.
We also had Ema, who Sinner knocked out. Ima?
Yeah.
Ima?
There you go. It's not bad.
Oh, Water for W.
Could have had a water.
Well, yeah. And a Z. Zanderschulp.
I said that last night, didn't I?
Did
But
you?
we could have also had Zhang, the Chinese women's player. 0 pointer. It's not really a tennis phrase though, is it? 0 pointer.
Tennis Files is back with Xavier Melis again. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, that's what we should have done.
Are we gonna get a Z?
I was going to say Zinchenko then, but why would I say that?
Right, the Man City left back.
Yeah, probably not then.
Fair enough. All right, guys.
There you go.
Let's take some final comments before we round off the show. Obviously, much more focused on, the 4 quarterfinals we've seen today, and they're lining up so nicely. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow's quarterfinals. I think they're going to be unbelievable. Honestly,
Playing at the same time though.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently there is a phrase in tennis, is there, called zero pointer,
oh,
which
okay,
is when I'm guessing you get 0 points.
Oh, fair enough. Let's get some
Right,
final.
Jason, you don't need to prove it, mate.
Loads of people are coming in with different names and ideas as well. Juicewell says both Norrie and Novak's games were absolutely incredible. I agree. Listen,
we could have had 0 points.
we could have had 0 points.
This is the official Wikipedia glossary of tennis terms.
Ranking. Okay. Wow.
Okay, cheers, Jace.
There we go. Fine.
10 points to you, mate.
Well done.
Right,
we'll get Jason on the next stream.
Okay.
Look, guys, today's been very much about the 4 quarterfinals we've seen, especially on the men's side. Some unbelievable games. Jabeur pushed a little bit more again than we might have expected, but she made it through. I mean, I think, actually, sorry, because there's so much tennis. My brain is now. I always have to quickly check the results because. Before you know it, it's Wednesday and it was suddenly Monday or whatever. But if I'm right, every single game today went all the way. They were all as long as possible. Both 3 setters in the women's, both 5 setters in the men's. What a day of tennis.
If you bought a ticket via monetary funds today for Centre Court, you will have received your... Finish it?
Your money's worth.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. Or likewise, if you're in Henman Hill on this beautiful day, you will have had a great time. Guys, don't be... obviously, Pippa and I put that guide out last week, sort of telling you about how you can go to Wimbledon, the things you do if it's your first time there. Don't be put off by the fact that we are into almost the final stretch of the, of the
still
championships.
Spare seats, mate.
There's still spare seats. still going till late. You've got Junior Wimbledon, you've got the doubles, and you've got the absolute crunch time in the singles as well.
Yeah.
And it's getting really exciting. Do go along. I actually once went on men's semi-final day thinking, well, I'm never going to get in because it's such a big day, and there's going to be barely any tennis to watch. And what a surprise! I was able to watch loads of singles in the what's it called, in Junior Wimbledon, and I was able to get on resale tickets to go see Andy Murray on centre court as well, as they went late in the day. And as you saw with these games as well, they will go deep into the tournament because they're, the best of the best are meeting each other now. So yeah, I really, really recommend it. We're gonna round off there. Any final comments to take before?
Poll result: Djokovic 68% to win, Norrie 32% to win the semi-final. So, as we said, the business end of the tennis is this week, or the second half of it at least. So stay with us. And tomorrow night you have Lee Judges is back in the hot seat.
Is he back tomorrow?
Going over what promises to be 2 great quarters.
Yep.
Kicking off at 2:45
He's a big Nadal fan,
tomorrow.
so I'm
Massive
excited
Rafa
to see.
fan.
Yeah, excited
And
to
then
see.
I think Harriet's back as well this week. I believe, pretty sure in saying this is my last show, mate.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I know.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, it has been.
Thank you so much.
But do you know what? It's not over in terms of tennis content
Of course.
for myself
Yes.
on this channel, because we've got a nice video coming up, mate.
We do have, and I'm excited for it, although even though we might have slightly spoiled it yesterday.
A little bit, but
we are very excited for that. So yeah, guys, it's been lots of fun. As always, Luke says, do go and watch the mixed doubles. It's so fun. We absolutely will. And again, go to Wimbledon if you can get there. I really recommend it. Luke also says that he's loved it today. It was fab. The tennis has been absolutely fantastic. That rounds off the stream, guys. Been an absolute pleasure. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel if you want updates on all the DR Sports content coming. And remember that we are covering the Women's Euros throughout the whole tournament. Every game is being covered here on DR, as well as all the latest transfer stuff in the world of football. It is absolutely relentless.
The Euro starts tomorrow.
It does start tomorrow.
It does indeed.
I know.
And,
Looking forward to it. Big thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.